You should stop buying updates in the peace round, it's not useful.
Lock and load.
Hmm.
Decoy. Grenade out. Terrorists win. Let's do this and get back in time for chow. Laying down smoke. Flashbang out. Flashbang. everyone. Grenade! Throwing grenade. Smoke! Throwing grenade. Flashbang. I'm defusing the bomb. The C4 is on its way to bomb heaven. Terrorists win. Let's do it good. Smoke. Grenade out. Throwing flashbang. Bomb has been planted. Get back now! Clear the area! Terrorists win. Let's move out. Flashbang out. Throwing grenade out. Fire in the hole. Incendiary out. Grenade out. Throwing smoke. Bomb has been planted. Deploying flashbang. Fire in the hole. Defusing. Laying down smoke.
Grenade out.
Grenade out. Grenade out. Terrorists win. Go, go, go! I'm down with that. Put up the
Grenade out.
smoke. Bomb has been planted. Laying down smoke. Terrorists win. Throwing a flashback. I'm planting the bomb.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win. Come on, let's go.
Flashbang!
Terrorists win.
Go, go, go! Throwing flashbang. Flashbang out. Throwing a flashbang. Grenade out. Throwing a flashbang.
Throwing flashbang.
I'm planted.
Bomb has been planted.
Grenade!
Grenade. Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
We must move. Flashbang out. Throwing flashbang. Grenade out. Flashbang. Smoke. Grenade out. Throwing fire.
It's not bad as a tip.
Wow. Thank God for the server loading up so slowly. I'm so appreciative. Oh, there we go. Loaded in.
Get a wingman map.
So true, Chief. I'm assuming that's Itachi in game text chat. It's
Yeah.
should be in the demo file. It should be listed at the process demo thing. It should just be listed at the bottom. Everyone's text feedback should be listed there. If that's in the CS:GO level testing yet, playtest announcements, yeah, it is. Okay. I try and keep it to not nitpicky stuff and try and go for all overall layout for everyone who's going to give feedback. So, anyone want to go first?
I can go first.
Go ahead.
Third in game on the CT team.
Yep.
I played both sides kind of equally, let's say. Mostly I played B on T side and A on CT side. So I felt like the B was like the quickest action area. Like if you wanna go into action and start shooting people, just go B. If you wanna just play slow and do that, just play with your utility, you go A. So feels like A super disconnected from the rest of the map because most of the action is literally on B, since middle is literally on top of B, which felt really weird because basically you're playing in this really open area. And don't get me started. If you want to check something, you have to turn your back to somewhere else. And it felt so weird that there was like no really way to guess where to throw a smoke which would land somewhere and actually cover something because it's such a long area and wide area. So I would, in my opinion, middle should be simpler and maybe make it more viable, like to use to go A and not just guys, let's just take this area and you take B, because literally that's what everyone did in this map, was take middle, which is this area I guess, and then go B. Second mid, I don't know, I didn't use this path that much. It was basically for rotation, but even though if you're like playing around here, if you're gonna rotate and you're making noise, you have to go around here and like there's a bunch of curves. If you could add like something here so you can like drop silently, it would be a great change. While I played on T side and I went A, I feel like A has a bunch of zigzags and a bunch of curves you have to go around. If I want to push this area, I have to go up the stairs and go back here again. It just felt really. I don't know. I'm just running. I'm not even playing. I'm just running to get to the area. And CT is the same thing. Like you go down here, you just go around here, and sometimes you felt lost. Like, should I go here or right here? Like, this turning right doesn't seem right because maybe there was an entrance over here somewhere, but it seems like there's an entrance around this area. I'm like, okay, I have to turn right here, and then there's this A stairs which feels completely empty and pointless. Seems like more like a retake position, where if someone smokes this door, you go around, You check the spots and you take site, but you're not really taking site because this doesn't lead to anywhere. It leads to the same area where the smoke is at. So I think this should connect maybe to over here. So you have like 2 entrances to retake instead of just this area that can be easily smoked. Literally, instead of smoking that, they can just smoke this and hold this choke, and that's it. The rotations to go around the map, to go to second mid and retake A, like takes ages, right? And I don't see anyone ever. If you're defending B, right here, how do I go to A without running the entire fucking map? I have to literally run this tunnel into this tunnel into this other tunnel, and then go here and then go and, there, and then go around the curve that I've told you about, and then you retake A through these 2 entrances, or else you choose to go through here, and which leads to the same area that we were talking about, the same choke point where the retakes on A will always be, which is very annoying. So reworking A or in pushing it more closer to the center of the map will be perfect. Obviously, you would change a bunch of the timings, but I think A it's super disconnected. And I don't know. There's some areas that feel like they shouldn't be. Like, I don't know. You have this, but it also connects through here. Maybe you, I don't know. Maybe you have like, okay, I changed ideas. I'll go through here. It seems like weird in some areas. And last but not least, what else did I didn't enjoy? I don't know. Retaking B, maybe? Yeah, retaking B. I don't see anyone retaking B through one of these entrances again, because they take a long time to run around the map and to get there. So people mostly went through the hole and retaken the sites from here. Because if you look around the map and like see where the retake options are, most of them require you to go through CT spawn or T spawn, because they are the only places that they are connected to. So yeah, map feels big, needs to be shrinked a little bit, but overall, the map was chaotic and kind of fun in some way. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, thank you.
Alright, thanks, Turty. Anyone want to go next?
Can I go?
Itachi,
Okay. First of all, I haven't been testing a map for a couple of years, so some of my feedback could be not exactly good, but I will basically connect on what Dirty said. The A is so disconnected, and I feel like the overall attention was focused on a B and how it's played, and that's also the bad part on it, because there's so much stuff going on. For T side, it's so easy to just jump down, plant the bomb, and just hold it. And like for somebody who is trying to play A and rotate to B, it's like I would create. To be honest, I would create some easy path. I know there's the secret one, but you know when it's so easy to like hold the angle when you need to break something. That's the part I don't. To be honest, I don't like the breakable stuff, and also the way is kind of chaotic to me. And overall, the map was. I would say it was. I would simplify the map. There's too much positions, too much angles. When I wanted to like basically when I was like in position when I was 1 versus 3 4 guys, I need to always check all the angles. And when I want to get some position, I never made it in a time. I just need to rush it and just pray. On the A side, there was one angle. I was on the CT side, and I tried to peek this specific angle, and I had so much trouble to not. This is so awkward. Having stairs and then open sided area. I would probably give some cover, because if you are T, it was so easy to cover this position because I had this angle covered and this, and if CT would try to peek from these stairs, they would always lose. It was never a win situation unless they have some flash or some utility on them. And I saw, I think Chief, he stopped me for one small thing here, and I would call him middle probably. You can just jump from this position. This is only viable like spot to go and like try to peek some behind something. I was thinking that this box could be used like in some better way. For example, maybe make it so when two people are boosting each other, it's not like when other will jump on the other one, they will be instantly seen, but only when the boosting one will be standing. So it's like kind of timed position or the timed angle, because this is so easy for CTs to hold this angle and just. I remember one round I was with the AUG. I just had one mole which I used on this angle. I cleared this way, which gave me a lot of defensive position, and then I just hold this like angle, and I had complete control over the whole like getting to the hole, and I just had I just needed somebody to hold this, which actually this is so weird spot to me. I was rotating from I was going from spawn, which is there, right? You go there, you try to get to some angle, and when I reach this position, I already heard some people shooting around here. So I would probably remove this part or change it in some way so it's easier for CTs. I don't know, would you, or maybe these stairs, and this overall angle when somebody peeks you, it's I don't know. I know when I peeked this angle, I was instantly shot by somebody, killed, and I didn't know what happened. I had no fucking idea if he sees me first, or I was just slow, or it was like connection. So, but I like the map. I like the like trying to going for like aesthetics. I like it like in some ways, but it's too complicated. You need to simplify it, in my opinion. And that's all from me.
Okay, thanks.
Alright, thanks, Itachi. Kroger.
Yep. I'm Kroger in game. I'm gonna start with the pathing. I don't think, well, before I start with the pathing, the overall size thing, I think it's the right size with just confusing pathing. I don't necessarily think it's too big, but things like when I come up A, having to go right or left when A is that way, and having to go around this weird little barrier thing feels uncomfortable. Same with this, I'm doing a loop for no reason. And it generally took me way too long to get my bearings on the map. And then same thing with especially CT side of the map. This whole area would be so much better if you just cut this fast area out or maybe made it simpler. With just every connector feels like there's a little extra area to it that's not so necessary and makes me more easily confused.
I don't care.
Fair. Wait.
Random
think.
card that joined VC. It's fine.
That was someone random, right?
Yeah, it's just a random guy. Don't worry about
Cool.
Yeah, I care. Thank you.
it.
I was about to say, people are usually nice here. My other comments would be, I would like the B entrances to be a little bit different. I don't think they're that bad. I don't like how tight they are. There's some angles that kind of come out of this low roof here that I noticed that can be a little bad. And another thing with this drop down, kind of confusing pathing. Otherwise, I don't really know if this drop area works. Sorry. I know it's kind of the whole point of the map, but I don't know what I would do with it if I was making this map personally. Maybe you can come up with something, but as of right now, I'm not a big fan. And my only other comments would be most of the on-site cover felt pretty nice. I feel like the entrances made it more confusing, but no cover felt like badly designed or out of place. Um, Other than that, I would just say, yeah, I'm finding a hard time like finding what direction you would go on this map, but I don't think it's like poorly designed. I think the drop down makes things complicated. So that's my end feedback.
All right, thanks.
Alright, thanks, Kroger. That just leaves me, I guess. Yeah, that's said in text, not text chat in game, but in Discord chat. There's just at least one, maybe two many entrances. Just one or two too many entrances. It's just like with 6 people, it was alright because there wasn't actually proper strategy involved in holding. Really, well, the strategy was spam players on the area that if T's get a hold of, they win the round. But that was really the strategy of it. There wasn't really much depth apart from that. So it's just kind of like, obviously, if five CT players gives a lot less options for CTs to do anything, even though it's just kind of, if we had one less player, it would be so much harder to hold just because there's just another place where we'd have to hold that we don't have a player holding. Even though we only had really one on A the whole match, maybe two, it's still kind of, there were still times where we were getting rushed up on from a separate entrance, or we were rushing up on people from a separate entrance that they just weren't holding. Like multiple times I just pushed here, the B main, and people still weren't aware or watching it because there's just not really much to actually watch it from. It's like you're peeking B main and you have one like this, but you can't watch from there because there's secret as well. And then what's going up on here as well, you can't really stay close to the drop because it's not safe. So you kind of have to just sit in corners and hope that they don't kill you, or sit back, or like we did on most of our CT side, is just rush mid, and if they're not, and we can hear them on B, if they're planted on B, or if they're not there, they're on A, because with the one guy on A's heard them or seen them or killed the guy on A, and then it's just retaking and overpowering them, which we didn't do too often. It's still quite hard to retake. It's just kind of, there's just too much map, honestly. It's like routes like this is obviously is the routes that take you into places. I just feel like it would be best not having like separate things like this and making mid a bit more interesting rather than just extra routes that just create problems for 5v5s. It's just way too much currently. If you're in a 5v5, we just wouldn't have enough places to watch because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 2 on B. There's a 6, and you regularly have 4, maybe 5 at a push, but 6 is just way too much as choke points. You just can't hold it on a 5v5. I don't really have much to say. I think both sides kind of are very limited in terms of how you can play them, really. I think we retook a few times, but it was just most of the time, I think on our T side, we just pummeled through the people and it was impossible to retake, but just kind of whatever, really. I can't say much about playing sites because all we did was play mid and then retake. So I don't actually know how easy holding sites is, but it just seems like there's not actually much going on in most places, and they're just lots of corridors that you have to push through or hold corners, because even like here, you've got doorway and corners, and that's all you got. You've got the one big piece of cover in a whole area. Obviously, I'm not telling you to just spam cover all around, but it's just a huge, massive area that just doesn't need to be this huge and massive. Like, cut off this half and just make it more interconnected with here itself, because it's not really necessary to have this extra route here that's just an extra hole, an extra route to go into. It'll be better making the actual area more within itself rather than just separating in routes, because it just adds to complexity where it's not needed. It doesn't benefit from it, I don't think. I think there's a lot of like stuff like this. I think it's all right. It's just kind of, I don't think it's really necessary to be like this. There's just a lot of duplicate routes that don't really do much. Obviously, it's faster to go around this way. It's not really. I think it'd just be easier simplifying stuff and then seeing how much needs to be added rather than just having loads of duplicate things in there, because I think that's also a problem, but not really the biggest problem. Like, I think that's all I can say really. It's just too much for a 5v5, honestly. Too much complexity in terms of routing and stuff, but like within areas they're actually quite simple. There's just a lot of open areas with hallways. Obviously, not hallways are bad, but it's just kind of within the area there's not actually much going on. There's just a lot of empty area that you don't really want to be running across. Touching on the hole, I just think you can get to a point where the hole's going to be as good as it gets, but I still don't think it's going to work. I'm not saying to remove it. I just think if that's your concept of the map, keep it. It's going to, I think there's going to be a lot of negative effects you'll never be able to overcome with it. And trying to build a map around that will just make it a bit harder, but obviously is how you want to make the map is whatever. But I think I agree with what most people said, but I think they did just completely miss out how there's 6 choke points, and in a 5v5 you just wouldn't be able to hold it at all. Unless it's just another match of not playing with real strategy and just hearing people on B and just holding mid and then retaking, because that's the CS:GO is about strategy, and you don't want to just be putting 4 of your people on an area to see if people push and then retaking every round. I don't think that's really. If we played it like you would play a regular map, I don't think CTs would be lucky to get around if you played it like a proper map, but like a properly strategic map. I can't really put it into words, but yeah, I think what most people have said is all right. So yeah, I wish you good luck with the map.
Yeah, thank you. No, that all makes sense. Thank you. It helps.
All right, great, thanks. Well, good luck with your map, and hopefully we see it again.
Yeah,
Yo,
cheers.
can I leave anything?
Yeah, Quan, I need to go, but
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, that's cool.
See ya.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello, I'm Gotigan in game.
Yep.
I was leaving some like text feedback, but I'm probably just gonna delete it and talk here instead.
All right.
I think Peak definitely like explained the like drop pretty well. To be fair, like if it's your concept, go for it, but it's not, it's not going to be like perfect strategically. But yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah, that's the main part I wanted to talk about. I think the rest of the map is okay, but it's definitely a tiny bit too, like what Peak said, just slightly too many routes in general. And I think when you have a map with like multiple levels, that's when you especially need to consider like how complex the routes are as well. Like you have to be a bit more careful when there's multiple levels, because that makes it more confusing inherently. So I think just like some examples of that would be like additional like drop downs like this and stuff. Add to like I didn't even know this was there during the game. Stuff like that, it's not especially it kind of complicates it a bit unnecessarily. And like this bit here, for example, like you could probably just turn this into a simple route that splits in two rather than kind of this, because that makes it a bit more confusing. So yeah, just check like a few places like that and simplify them. I think that would be good. As for like the fact it's 6 choke points rather than 5 tops, obviously it's up to you how you simplify it. My suggestion would probably be to remove one of these, maybe. But I don't think it matters too much. Just as long as you get rid of something, so that there's only 5 places for CTs to hold. That'd be good. I guess now I'll just talk about the drop real quick. or not quick, but this area. I think the main thing I noticed is that it's pretty easy for T's to plant on this site. There's not a lot of stuff they have to clear when coming down to this site. There's really only a few positions they need to worry about. They just need to clear behind here pretty much. They need to be aware of that, and they just need to clear this corner, and that's about it. So I think it's a bit too easy for them to plant down here. That's probably what I would change. So getting rid of one of these would help with that. Also, CTs don't have a lot of cover to defend. I think it'd be nice if you had a box or something here, so they had an additional position to watch something from. Because pillars aren't really, then you can turn this into like a proper position, basically. And I think it'd be nice if you didn't have to worry about sort of like off angles as well, retaking. Yeah, bit hard to defend and retake the lower area, I'd say. One other small thing I'd say is that these should probably be a bit raised, so you don't have like if I'm up here, I'll just see people with like up to their waist, like if they're far back, which is a small thing. But yeah. And I was talking in the CSGO level testing channel, and someone raised a good point that I hadn't considered. That is, if you're in a 1 versus 1 and you need to defuse the bomb, but the T is up there, it's pretty hard to win that. So I think what would help with that is if you did get rid of one of these, you could add a route that connects the upper and lower areas, but slightly faster, rather than just this. And I think that will help with retakes, and it will also help with it will just give both teams more options. It doesn't need to be super fast, but this is your fastest way for CTs, which isn't very fast at all. And the fastest way for T's to get back up is this way, which is also pretty slow. So I think it'd be good if like maybe you can like rework this area, because Pete mentioned like getting rid of this. So maybe you could like rework this to be a bit simpler and connect down here. I think that would be cool. And then because then a CT down here that wants to defuse the bomb, but there's a T up there, can they can go up slightly quicker and kill the T up here maybe. Maybe you could put something here that goes around. I don't know. There's some good like options you have, I think. The only other couple of things I'd say maybe is I think the mid or whatever you want to call this could do with some tweaks. I think this cover feels very like forced, like it's quite like one and done spot if you want to play here, and you can't really escape very easily if you want to go elsewhere. So maybe I would consider just sort of like not having this as a position and add like another arch like there or something for CTs, so that the fights are a bit like more clean and the cover feels more like deliberately placed. Because you don't really want to like some people would use this spot, but it's not really that that good. It doesn't help you defend much because of how you can't escape once you're here. And there's you've got to watch this. And, yeah. The one last thing kind of small thing I'd say is I feel like that's kind of what you already did is make it so that like this is for fighting there, and if you want to fight down there, you have to jump up. But I think what might help a bit is if I don't know what your reference is, so I don't know like exactly if this would work. But if you had some areas that are too high to jump up, and some that are like on the ground, so you can walk forward, and then as long as it's like visual from looking up, you can predict like where people are going to peek, kind of like what you have here. So this bit is lower, but if some areas were like taller or you had some cover next to it, you would know that a T can't hit you from there. So it reduces like the space that you have to worry about someone peeking from over the edge. I don't know if that would fit, but it's an idea. And the one last small thing I'd suggest that I think would help a bit is if the holes were slightly like simpler shape as well, because you're gonna get a lot more like weird stuff like this, if they're quite an unusual shape, and if they're simpler, it just becomes a bit like more easy to read, which I think would be good for, you know, the kind of design basically. But I did enjoy I did kind of enjoy how this works, even if it is pretty unusual and not the most like competitive, not the best thing for like proper competitive play, but it was definitely fun for what it is. So that's cool. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Do you have any questions or?
No, that all makes sense. Honestly, I think a lot of what everyone said is stuff I had already been thinking about, so it's good to kind of confirm it all.
Yeah,
But no,
definitely.
that's super helpful. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah. No worries. Yeah, I enjoyed the map. I'll see you. I'll see you then.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.